Hello there, friends and followers, and welcome to this live stream. This is Q8Pilot, your host for today's show, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Q4XP, or the Dash 8 Q400 for X-Plane 11, one of my absolute favorite aircraft for X-Plane and for flight simulation in general. It's an aircraft that is very close to my heart and one that I really enjoy flying. In this live stream today, I'm going to attempt to show you as much as possible, exposing all the details and all the fine and in-depth system simulation that FlyJSim has brought into this aircraft. And let me tell you, this aircraft is quite detailed. A very good rendition, really, of the Q400. And very closely resembles real-world operations of the aircraft. I want to welcome all of you guys today to the stream, and Daniel, welcome Daniel, Scott, Delta, Oscar, Sierra, welcome my friend, and we have Philly Zoe, welcome my friend, welcome Captain Matei, Mark, Gulshan Kumar, hello my friend, and welcome. Glossimel, hello my friend, and welcome. Rand, hello my friend, long time no talk. How are you doing, my friend? I hope that you are well and everybody is safe and sound. There is a giveaway that is currently in progress, and I'm going to attempt the giveaway in a different way this time. So normally what I do is I use Streamlabs OBS, and that provides you with a command to enter in chat in order to enter the giveaway. This time around, we're going to use the Nightbot giveaway feature, and what it does is that it actually draws from the list of active users in the chat, so that will give an opportunity to those who participate longer in the stream to win the giveaway. Also, for the Q8Pilot channel members, they are going to receive 2 times, or actually 3 times the chances to win the giveaway than the normal users. So a little bit of appreciation for those who have been supporting the channel. If you'd like to become a member of the Q8Pilot channel, of course, you'll get all the perks, including, the emojis, the custom emojis, as well. From this point forward, better chances at winning the giveaway that I feature on just about every stream here on the channel. So lots to cover today, and for this reason I picked a very short route today to fly from Rogue International Airport to Eugene Airport in the state of Oregon, and we're going to be doing so aboard this Alaska airline Dash 8, and so let's get started. One more thing, I'm going to also allow all the moderators to enter the giveaway. In fact, what I'm going to do is there are 3 copies of the Dash 8 that I'm going to be giving away during the stream. I will be running the first round, the first roll is going to be for everyone, but members will receive better chances of winning the giveaway. And then I'm going to run another one for members and mods, and then I'm going to run another one for everyone with an equal opportunity, so that I am fair to everyone here on the channel. So, exciting, and let's go ahead and take a look at this remarkable rendition of the Dash 8 by FlyJSim. First thing is I'd like to actually take a look at the exterior model and point out a few things, and this aircraft is actually rendered to look exactly like the real Dash 8. So the first thing you will notice here is that we've got this one here is the angle of attack sensor model. And this is the pitot, and this is the ice sensor, if you will. The ice sensor actually vibrates when ice forms on it, and that indicates to the pilots that there is probably ice forming elsewhere on the aircraft. and we will be taking the basic operations of the anti-icing system aboard the Dash 8 in this live stream later on. If we look, let me adjust the speed of X camera here to medium so that it doesn't, there. All right, that's better. All right, so if we zoom in here, again, you can see all the details here. This is, I believe, the hydraulic system used for the nose for the gear, and this is the GPU. And see, this is the GPU door, so this is where you'd connect external power. I'm not really sure what this is. Probably some anti-static or something that is connected once the aircraft is being fueled. But on the other side of the Dash 8, so if we go to the other side, you will notice that there is another pitot. There is actually two of them. This is the co-pilot or the first officer pitot, and this is a standby pitot. This is also the angle of attack sensor and the anti-ice or the ice sensor. And actually, the standby pitot feeds this little guy here. So the information that you see here comes from the standby pitot, and this is a standby instrument there. So the Dash 8, in terms of the lights, the Dash 8 comes with the position lights on both sides of the wings. You'll see it in red on this side, and you'll see it in green on the other side. Now, the reason you see two of them here, and this is quite nicely modeled, is that this bulb is actually a standby bulb, and this is the main one, and that is so that if one of those bulbs fail, there is a backup, because the Dash 8 is not certified to fly during nighttime without the position lights. So they have got to have a position light in order for the aircraft to fly during nighttime. The beacon light is located right here. The beacon light is located right here. Looks like let's see here. I'm getting a note that there is some sort of an echo. Yeah, we hear it. Okay, all right. So let me. Could be this here. All right, just let me know, guys, if the echo is gone. Let's see. Yeah. Is something. That's why. All right. The echo should be gone now. That's my bad. Sorry about that, guys. I hope it's all good. Slight echo. Yeah, I think it was the browser was open on the YouTube page, so basically it was playing back in the background. The same issue I did last time. But hopefully this time, we resolved it quickly. It should take a few minutes. Looks like it's fine now. Yep. All right. Dougal, hello, my friend. James, hello, my friend. Scott. Hello, everyone. All right. So, back at the lights on the Dash 8, looks like XEnviro has updated the weather. So let me just go to XEnviro and change the weather here. Yeah, that's much better. So we can take a look. So the bulbs are here, and the landing lights are both here and on the other side. The floodlights on the tail you can find here. So right there, let's go up. I think the sun is there. There you go. There's one here and one on the other side. And by the way, this is an optional extra in the Dash 8. And actually, the Dash 8 has a lot of optional extras, just like in buying a car. And including the heated seats in the cockpit. The taxi light, I'll show you something there in a moment, but let's see here. All right, so this is the taxi light aboard the Dash 8. as you can see here, and it is fitted on the nose wheel. So when you actually steer the aircraft, the light would steer with the nose wheel, illuminating the ground. This is pretty much in terms of the lights, but there's one more thing that, let's see. So the strobe lights on the Dash 8 are kind of non-standard. So there's one down here, there's one down somewhere down here. Let's see here if we can spot it. Yeah, so that's the light there, and there is another one on top of the tail, and those are white lights, and those are the strobes. So in the Dash 8, you either have the beacon lights on in red or the strobes in white, both on top and bottom of the aircraft. It is exactly located below the beacon light here. So this is what I wanted to cover, and of course you can see those engines are, again, true to their real-world counterpart. They're in the feathered position right now, and they look, this is the engine intake, and they look just phenomenal. The modeling of this aircraft is absolutely gorgeous. Really, the FlyJSON team has done a phenomenal job, and the sounds are, wow, just really great. I mean, you can, again, look at the, if we go here, and we take a look at the details there, just look at that. Just look at the details there. And by the way, this is, I think this needs fixing. Let me see here, if I can just go a little backwards. Yeah, you can see this is not right. So tire inflates, it's backwards, it's written backwards, but hopefully it'll be fixed in a later version. But yeah, the Dash 8 Q400 by FlyJSON is just really an immaculate aircraft. Really very, very good rendition of the aircraft. David White, welcome to the VVIP membership, my friend. Glad to have you with us. All right, let's hop into the aircraft, and let's see here. Let's go in, and let's take a look at the inside. All right, so beginning at the passenger cabin. Why is this, keep going to chart, okay, medium, there we go, save, right. All right, so if we look at the passenger cabin again, everything is nicely modeled. I've shown this in a previous stream where you can open the overhead compartment, and you can also open the food tray, which is kind of cool. This is the forward baggage compartment, and normally in the Dash 8 this is not used unless absolutely necessary, simply because the Dash 8 is a nose-heavy aircraft, and it is preferred that everything is kept in the back. So if you have less than a fully loaded Dash 8, you'd actually place the passengers in the back, working your way towards the front, in order to keep things, the center of gravity and all that good stuff, in check. All right, let's close this, and of course there is a lavatory. There is no lavatory in the back of the aircraft, but there is one here, and fully operational. And I believe you can also flush the toilet, if I'm not mistaken. There you go. Kind of cool. Again, not that you'd use it in flight simulation, but it's kind of there for some good fun. All right, there is a seat here that you can also use, and we have got Antonio Nozzi. Or Nozzle, Antonio Nozzi. Antonio Nozzi, thank you so very much for becoming a member of the Q8 Pilot channel. Appreciate it, my friend. Appreciate your support. Thank you very much. So let's go ahead now and walk into the flight deck. Now, when you walk into a cold and dark Dash 8, the first thing you want to make sure is that all the switches are turned off right here. So this is the DC control. Standby battery, auxiliary, the main battery, and the master battery are all turned off. You want to make sure that all your lights are in the off position. All the switches here are in the off position. You want to also make sure that the landing gear is in the down and locked position. You want to make sure your parking brake is set, the gust lock is in position, and your power levers are idle or in the disk actually position, and your fuel levers are in the disconnected position. So no fuel, no power, and the parking brake is set. The first thing you want to do in the Dash 8 is you want to turn on the batteries, and then we want to bring up the engine and electrical controls or displays in order to have a look at our battery state and the engine state as well. So here's what we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is hop back here to the overhead panel, DC control, and we're going to turn on standby battery, auxiliary, main battery, and the battery master. Now we have the caution light illuminated here. We're going to cancel those, and you'll see a bunch of lights here, the warning lights showing up here. Now the Dash 8, the battery will discharge very quickly, and it is very important that we establish external power or turn on the APU. For this tutorial, we are going to be turning the APU, but first we're going to come down here and we're going to turn on the, oops. All right, so we're going to turn on the engine display as well as the, why is it doing this step thing? Let me do this, all right. All right, that's much better, all right. So the engine display, and we are going to turn on the electrical display as well. Right, so this is the engine display, and this is the electrical display. Let's head over to the electrical display and take a look. Of course, this T means that the aircraft is in self-test mode, and it's testing the system to make sure everything's okay. And once the self-test is complete, then you will get the display. All right, so as you can see now, the electrical display shows the battery, APU gen, AC gen. You see all the zeros here because, of course, we don't have the engines running, and so the generators are off. But you can see that there is a minus sign right here, and this is indicating that the batteries are currently discharging. You can see that the DC bus on the ASUS and main buses, you see 24.8. We need about 22 volts for engine start. You can start the Dash 8 in extreme conditions using the battery, but they will probably run out before the engine starts. So in extreme conditions, you might want to do that maybe when no electrical or APU is available during an emergency or so. But during normal operations, it is always recommended that you immediately bring up the external power or power up the APU so that your batteries are not discharging. You can see them discharging now. And by the way, the let's see here. You can see here the flap settings, spoilers, your rudder, hydraulic pressure obviously is set here. We don't see it yet. We can see the parking brake pressure is set right here. All right, so first thing we want to do is we want to go to the overhead panel. And to do this, now before we start the APU, we need to test the APU, conduct the APU fire test. And as you can see now, the APU valve is closed. So what we're going to do is go to the APU control right here, and we're going to hit the power button. You're going to see a flashing light, and this is kind of a self-test. And then now you see that the APU fuel valve is now open. Now to test this, we're going to click on the fire test, and you see that when you do this, you see that the valve is closed, the bottle is armed, and you see the power button on the APU control is illuminated with the word fail. And this is what you want to happen in case of a fire. You want definitely the fuel valve to be closed. to kill the fuel and prevent further damage to the aircraft. All right, so once the test is done, we are ready to start the APU. We're going to click on the Start button, and after you hit the Start button, you need to wait 20 seconds before the APU is actually available. So the APU door will now open in the back of the aircraft. I'm not sure if we can hear it here or not. All right, you see now that there is this warrant sign on the generator. If we click that, now the APU generator is on, and now we can supply bleed air to the aircraft. We're going to turn on the recirc fan on. Now, the nice thing about the APU is that not only does it provide the Dash 8 with power, but also with conditioned air. And the recirc fan is used to circulate this conditioned air into the cabin while the APU supplies the conditioned air. All right, let's work our way now from top to bottom, left to right. And by the way, if we cancel now the caution lights here, now if we look at the electrical display, you will notice that, now that the minus sign is gone. So this is now indicative of a positive charge to the battery. You can see the DC bus now has 28.1, which is sufficient for the engine start. We should also get the temperature, but we are not getting it here for some reason. And the temperature normally, the temperature of the batteries should be that of the ambient temperature that we get here, which is +6 Celsius that we see here, but for some reason it's not showing here. So let's now head over back to the overhead panel, and we are going to take a look at here at the rest of the systems. Now, the ice protection system normally needs to be operated when you see the word ice detected right down here. So this is where you'd get the note in yellow color saying ice detected. And once that happens, all you need to do is really move this to slow, move this to on, and you need to turn on the engine intakes. Now, the engine intakes are located down here. Let me show you where they are. Let's see here. All right, so this is the engine intake for the anti-ice system. And once we click on those two engine intakes, you will see that the door opens underneath the wing. Pretty slick, isn't it? So actually, you can see the level of detail again in the Dash 8. Very, very interesting and quite detailed. So we're going to turn this off, and we'll cover this in more details, maybe in a future flight somewhere, around the Alps or something like that. Next, we are going to turn on, by the way, the boot air switch here is not used in normal operations. It is used for troubleshooting issues with the anti-icing system. So we will leave this, and it is not used in normal operations. We're going to turn on the standby and pitos right here. The windshield aboard the Dash 8 offers different positions. You can also heat, off, warm up, and normal for the windshield. And the wiper has different positions, low and high. And on the Dash 8, if you turn on the wipers and you go to the off position, you need to still go to park and in order to reset the position of the wipers. The pilot side window heat is only provided for the pilot side. And by the way, the heaters are, I'm not sure if you can see them, but let me zoom in here. Those are actually the heaters. This is on the captain side, and there is one located here only on the captain side. The first officer has the same one as this one here on the other side, but only the captain has this one here. Okay, so this is the windshield, and we're going to move up now to the testing, so for the overhead panel, the testing area, if you will. We've already tested the APU, but you can also test, you can see now that the fuel valves are closed, which they are, and hydraulics are open. You can test the engine fire test, engine number 1, engine number 2, and the baggage after compartment has 2 smoke detectors, and that's why you will see that you have number 1 and number 2. The forward baggage compartment is a small compartment, and so it is equipped with only 1 smoke detector, and you can test it here. Moving down the panel, excuse me, the flight data recorder test can be performed here, and the ELT, when equipped, this is the emergency location transmitter. For some reason, it is not equipped on this Dash 8, but when equipped, it provides emergency services with the location of the aircraft in order to expedite rescue operations in case of an emergency. This is really handy when the aircraft, God forbids, crashes in a remote site. The PFD altimeter units, you can cycle this between feet and meters or just feet, but in real-world operations, the second option is rarely used. The pressure aboard the Dash 8 is fully automated, and but you, of course, have to keep an eye on the pressure difference rate and altitude in order to make sure that the cabin is pressurized, especially after above 10,000 feet. Where you need to pressurize the cabin, or else hypoxia will be experienced. And there has been many accidents for failing to really take a look at the pressurization system in the aircraft. Alrighty, so far so good. And let me see here if there are any questions that I can immediately answer. All right. Next up, the lights aboard the Dash 8. You have the overhead console, glare shield, the center console forward and after, storm lights and the dome lights. Normally, when you enter the Dash 8 on a dark day, so when it's really pitch dark at night, you turn the dome lights on in order to illuminate the cockpit. The APU control is something that we've covered. The engine start, again, the engine start, thanks to the FADAC system aboard this aircraft, the engine start is fully automated. The only thing you need to do is select the engine number 2, click on start, and then just introduce fuel, and the engines would start. So a very sophisticated aircraft, again, for its size and for the time that it was built. Cabin altitude is set here. I will cover this in details in a later tutorial, but this is where you set the landing altitude, and you can set also the forward flow. Exterior lights we've covered in the beginning. This is the wing inspection lights. The wing inspection lights are used just to inspect the aircraft fuselage and the wings. It illuminates the wing area, specifically to look for leaks and things like that. The anti-collision light, the red beacon light is normally introduced before engine start. The white anti-collision light is effectively the strobe aboard the Dash 8, and it should be turned on when you enter the runway and turned off when you exit the runway. The position light should be turned on at all times the aircraft has power. Moving up here to the AC control. The AC control is just like DC control. It supplies the aircraft components with electrical power. This section is not used at all in normal operations. All you need to do is make sure that the external power is set to off, and both gens 1 and 2 are set to the on position. The AC control supplies the anti-icing system and the auxiliary fuel systems with power. The air conditioning system is, again, quite simple. In the Dash 8, you've got the recirc fan that circulates the air in the cabin, bleed air to supply the cabin with conditioned air. you've got the minimum, normal, and max positions. Now for takeoff and landing, this should be in the minimum position, and once the aircraft is airborne, you can set this to the normal position. On a really cold or hot day, you can set this to maximum, and of course you can control the look at the temperature in the cabin and the ducts by flipping this switch here. The packs those two switches here, should be always in the auto position, and the temperature can be set. The temperature control can be set using those two knobs here. Now, when you move this knob all the way down here, you are giving the cabin crew access to control the cabin temperature. So it is always a good idea to keep it with the pilot and co-pilot. The test here, fasten seatbelt sign, should be turned on as soon as the aircraft is powered immediately after refueling, and should be turned off above 10,000 feet and should be reintroduced below 10,000 feet. The non-smoking sign should be turned on and left on as long as the Dash 8 has electrical power. Advisory, so if we look at the lights here, this is the test caution lights. It illuminates all the lights here, so you can make sure that there are no burnt bulbs. In case of an emergency, you are able to know that there's something wrong, and the downward position is the advisory lights will turn on to show you that everything is working. You can also set the lights to be dimmed or bright depending on the time of day. All right, so this is pretty much the overhead panel. Now, we're not going to go through everything in this tutorial, but I hope I can just introduce you to the main systems so that you can operate the aircraft. Now, if we go down here to, let's see here, if we go down here, the fuel control, those are obviously the auxiliary tanks. The fuel transfer is not used in normal operations. The Dash 8 by default is derated, has a derated power to 90%. You can use MTOP to put that back to 100% when required. Event marker is something I'm not very familiar with, but the reduction of thrust, this is it will either reset to 90 or you can reduce the thrust. We'll take a look at that once the aircraft is ready for takeoff. The auto feather system is used for takeoff, and this is a reduction NP is used for landing. This is a kind of a standby COM1 radio in case the main one fails, and you can test it here, but we're not going to use it for this flight, so we'll keep this off. Okay. We're going to take a look at the FMC in detail in a later tutorial, but what I'd like to show you in this live stream is the radios here. So let's do that. All right, so let's turn on both radios. As you can see, now we have the VHF1, we have the ILS frequency. Now, by the way, on the Dash 8, when you enter an ILS frequency, it will automatically detect that this is an ILS frequency. And if you enter a VOR frequency, it will also automatically detect. As you can see now, I've changed this as VOR1, and we're going to be using VOR today for our approach into RYUJIN. No worries, Dougal. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Now, with the radios, if you go, for example, on VHF1, if I select VHF1 and I click expand, you can see that I can test it. Okay, I can also go to the channels. So there is, on every button here, you can use the expand to go to the next page. So this is page 1. The same thing happens if you go, for example, to maintenance, beg your pardon. Let's go to, for example, let's go, for example, to ATC, and I click on expand. You can see now you can use normal, above the line, below the line, TARA, TA only, and standby. All of this is available for you to actually activate this, you need to press and hold, and it will change the status of your transponder. You can click ID as well, right here, and this is how you operate the radio. So the same thing goes, by the way, for your ADF. So if I go to ADF and click on expand, again, you can test it. You can change it between ADF and A&T. You can set the volume. You can set the BFO on or off and all that good stuff. All right. Now, another thing that you want to do on the Dash 8 is, of course, communication with your cabin crew. And in order to do so, you need to flip this to PA. And once you do this, you can actually call the PA now using this button. And if you want an emergency, so you want them to, this one, of course, they will come, the cabin crew will answer you once they can. But if it is an emergency, then you click on the emergency and you see it now. This is actually going to ring in the cabin, and it will notify cabin crew that there is an emergency and they need to pick up the phone and speak to the captain. PA also is used for passenger announcements. So when you want to make a passenger announcement, you make sure this knob is on PA, and you click PA here to make the announcement. All right, I think I've covered what I wanted to cover in terms of the aircraft systems in this live stream. And now it is time for us to take this Dash 8 for a flight. So what we're going to do is we are going to turn on our UNS-1 FMS on both sides of the aircraft. The radios are already turned on, and we're going to turn on the rest of the displays. Benny, hello, my friend, welcome. Willie Co, hello, my friend, and welcome. If you've just joined the stream, so the way we're doing the giveaways this time is a little different. I'm going to be using Nightbot for the giveaway this time around, and hopefully it will offer a... there's one more thing I wanted to show you guys in this live stream is the, let's see here. So you can test right here. All right, so here you've got the takeoff warning test, the ADC test 1 and test 2, stall warning test 1 and 2, and you can turn on the steering, which we will need, of course, in order to steer the aircraft. There's one more thing that I wanted to show you guys, which is this little guy here. Now, I forget what it's called right here. Let me just do there. All right. So you see this little thing here. When ice forms, this is actually a light on board the actual aircraft. I'm not sure if it's actually modeled where it illuminates, but this little guy here, this light will tell you if there is ice forming. And so the captain, once the captain sees ice forming here, he will immediately know that there is probably ice forming elsewhere on the aircraft. And so this light actually remains illuminated during nighttime here to see whether ice is forming on the aircraft or not. All right, one glitch that is in this version of the aircraft, which is this one here, the spoilers. Normally in a cold and dark state, this should be on taxi. And for some reason, you can't put this on taxi when the aircraft isn't powered. So normally this needs to go to taxi when the aircraft is in a cold and dark state. All right, so we are now ready to start loading the aircraft, and we're going to bring up the Sim Toolkit Pro. We're going to say fly now, and we're going to connect it to X-Plane. There we go. All right, perfect. Now we're going to go to right here. We're going to say select load, and we are going to go to our operational flight plan. And let's take a look at our passengers, 64 passengers today. And we're going to hit enter. And then we are going to go to the total cargo is 200 pounds of cargo. The en route time is actually 22 minutes. So we're going to put that here. Oops. 22. Total fuel required for our flight is 5777. And the zero fuel weight is 54031. 54031. All right, changes things around here just a little bit, but let's make sure this is 64. 54031. 54031. All right, that's fine. I think that's close enough. This is the load summary. We can see that everything is looking fine and dandy. We are below the maximums, so we are good there. And everything else looks good here. And we're going to say confirm load and start loading. Now, once you do the start loading, you will notice that the first thing that will happen is the passengers holding for fuel, bags are holding for fuel, powering up the APU, and fuel card is connecting. So if you go to the outside, you will actually see that the fuel truck there is getting connected to the aircraft, as you can see here. The weather conditions are really bad right now in our location, but yeah, I think you can see it right here. All right, so while the aircraft loads, we're going to go ahead and enter our flight plan. Hello, my friend John Van Doren. Hello from Las Vegas, USA. Another enjoyable video, a great AC to fly. Stay well, my friend. Thank you so very much, my friend. Omar Mikati. Hello, my friend, and welcome to the stream. Aviation 215. Hello, my friend. Hence, it won't stay in taxi during cold and dark. Yeah. Delroy White, hello, my friend, and welcome. Alrighty, so now what we're going to do is we are going to enter the flight plan into the FMS. So we're going to say accept, and we're going to go to the, this is our departing airport, Kilo Mike Foxtrot Romeo, and the destination today is Kilo Echo Uniform Golf. And enter. All right, about 106 nautical miles. We're going to go to our departing airport, and we're going to select menu, and we're going to select depart. We are departing runway 14 today, so number 1, and there is no SID, so enter that, and enter. Flight plan. Yeah, it's going to put a disco there. Now, the transition, if we look at our flight plan here, which is quite simple, as you can see, departing runway 14, direct to OED, and then vector 23 to EUG, and then direct to Eugene, runway 16 right. So here's what we'll do. We will delete this, and we are going to go to our destination. And we are going to select list. First, we can enter, so we have OED is the first one, number 5. We are going to enter that. So that is entered now. And then from there, we can also select, let's see here, menu, no, that's that, list, return, and list, airways. Hang on a second. We need to come here and select list, and then there we go. Vector 23 is this one here, so number 6, and we enter that, and we're going to exit at EUG, which is number number 6, enter that, enter, flight plan. All right, so here's our flight plan now. Departing there, we'll take a look, we need to take a look at our approach into Eugene Airport, because this is a VOR station. So we are going to follow the flight path, and then we're going to head over to a VOR station before we make the turn to intercept the localizer for runway 16 right at our destination. All right, so flight plan is done. We are now going to go to the fuel, and from the fuel, all we need to do is enter the information that we have on the load data page. So the zero fuel is 54031. 54031. And by the way, you can enter passengers and cargo, and it will automatically calculate the zero fuel for you if that's what you choose to do. And the fuel on board is 5777, and we entered that, and that's the gross weight of the aircraft, and we are now ready to go. Perfect. All right, so now the flight plan and all the information is entered into the UNSFMS, and we can now put this down, and we'll come over here, accept, and do a cross-fill from FMS1. Cross-fill in progress, all is done. We can put this on nav, close that. All right, now we're going to set our altitude, and for this flight, we are going to be cruising at a final cruise altitude of 16,000 feet. So altitude is set. Notice that it will change right over here when we set the altitude here. 16,000. All right, 16,000 is now set. And we'll grab the altimeter. So we'll go to the weather information at our location and take a note of the altimeter, which is 3032. All right, we're going to come down here and right here, 3032. All right, 3032. Now, setting the speeds on the Dash 8 depends largely on the aircraft weight and the temperature, the outside temperature. So for our flight today, very quickly, I'll take you through a detailed, again, we'll talk about this in future streams, detailed on the how to set those speeds, but they are dependent on the outside temperature and aircraft weight and elevation. So we're going to put 120, 123, 123 for V rotate, and 132 for V2. And for the climb, I'm going to put 185. And 240. All right, there we go. Our speeds are now set. All is looking good. And we're going to now make sure that the nav source is selected on FMS1 on both sides. That is FMS1, FMS1, perfect. Okay, cool. 3032, everything's looking good. All right, so we are now pretty much ready. So we are going to turn on the beacon lights to the red position, and we're going to make sure the fasten seatbelt sign and smoking signs are turned on. Emergency lights are armed, and everything else is looking good. We can leave the bleed air for now. All right, alt select is turned on, and everything is now looking good. All right, so there's one more thing I want to cover with you guys as far as the field of view. So these are called the Cat 2 bowls. You can see this one, there's a white bowl here, the black, and another white one here. Now for the correct field of view for the captain, you just need to move to the left until this black bowl completely covers the white bowl. And normally in the Dash 8, this is actually the position that you should have as the, hold on there 1 second. That is about right. Okay, so right now I'm going to just save this view here. And this is the correct field of view that resembles what a Dash 8 captain would see. And normally, looking at the instruments would actually, it's a bit, I think, it's a bit, there you go, something like that. Yeah, that's about right, right there. I think that's the correct field of view.
Camera is safe.
And normally, it's a head movement to look at the instruments down below on the Dash 8. So we are now pretty much ready to go. I don't think much has changed there yet, although I'm sure performance improvements will come in the future. In VR and FPS is barely acceptable for me, RTX 3080 Ti, but yeah. Yeah, the FPS needs work definitely on this aircraft. And before I forget, I want to thank my partners in success on the Q8Pilot channel, Fly JSIM, Just Flight, Virtual Fly, Threshold, and all really the the fine partners that I've been working on for quite some time now, and they've been very instrumental in the success of the channel. So yeah, so we are now ready to start the engine. We're going to taxi straight out to runway 14, depart, and then we're going to make a turn to intercept our flight path. Everything is looking good now. As you can see here, we're ready for engine start. If we check all the batteries are good, everything here looks good. Lights, okay, APU, engine bleeds, everything's fine. All right, let's go ahead and start the engine. And to do so, as I've previously pointed out, the FADAC system provides for a completely automated engine start where you only need to select the engine and hit the start button, and then you're good to go. So we're going to start with the engine number 2 and hit the select start button, and now you'll see that the engines are spooling. And fuel feather, engine number 2. Perfect. By the way, the sounds of this aircraft are phenomenal. And I believe they were made by the same developer that did the sounds for the Phenom. I believe a lady by the name of Daniela is the person behind the sounds of this Dash 8. And they are just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it reminds me a lot, this goes to max, and then we'll put them back on minimum before we taxi. All right, we have a good start on engine number 2, and we're going to now start engine number 1. There we go, engines are spooling. All right, fuel feather. All right, guys, so I think people are asking about the code. Is this the code for the giveaway? So there is no code for the giveaway this time around. I will show you, the draw will be done at the very end using Nightbot based on active users during the stream. Alright, so we have a good start now on both the engines. So what we're going to do is we are going to turn off the APU. And we're going to turn on bleed air on. And let's see here. We will turn on the auxiliary fuel pump and auto feather. We're going to switch this to system. To nav, right there. Alright, let's see here. What is it complaining about? Anti-skid? It's right here. And... oh, the doors. Really? Ah! I think we need to fast load and close the door. My bad. My bad. Yeah, we started the engines while the passengers were still boarding the aircraft. All right, so we're all good to go now, folks. We're going to turn on the hydraulic systems right there. Standby hydraulic. And you actually need to just make sure that this actually works. And you can see it here, the hydraulic pressure. And that's it. We close it, and then we're good to go. All right, we're going to bring this back to minimum for taxi. And we are gonna move this to flight idle. And we are now ready to taxi to the runway. All right, let's go. Parking brake is released and we are ready to go. Oh. Steering is on and we are now good to go. Did I turn it on or not? There we go. That's better. You can see that the visibility is pretty bad today. All right, so folks, for the giveaway, there is no code required. At the end, we will go to Nightbot and we will run the giveaway from there. So there's nothing that you really need to do at this point, except just really enjoy the stream. And we will worry about the giveaway later on. Weather conditions are, visibility is pretty bad here at Medford in Oregon. Quite foggy this morning. By the way, taxi light needs to go on. You see the taxi light. Now, if I just show you this. If we do left, you see the light. It actually moves with the nose wheel. Right, we're set flaps 5 for departure. Man, the visibility is really bad today. I can barely see the markings on the ground.
Approaching 14.
That's the runway. All right.
Runway 14.
We're going to set the parking brake just here for a short while and configure the aircraft for departure. Everything, we're going to release the gust lock and we're going to put these on maximum for takeoff. All right, we're going to make sure everything here is set. This is to minimum. Blinding lights are on, and we're going to now set the external lights or the strobes to the white anti-collision. And this is all done. We can also turn the tail lights, but I don't think it's needed at this point. And we are now, ladies and gentlemen, ready to go. We're going to fly with a derated takeoff of 90%. So we're going to release the parking brake, and we are good to go. See much. All right, V1, rotate. Positive rate of climb, gears going up. Now at 1,000 feet AGL, we will retract the flaps, and we will also reduce the props to 900. All right, let's begin our turn. And retract the flaps. Okay. Good thing we're clearing the foggy area. I don't see the ice detected, so we'll leave the anti-ice system turned off at this point. Finally, we can see something. It's Dude Plays. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind comment. I'm glad that you're enjoying the channel and enjoying the content. Really appreciate it, my friend. Thank you for your kind words. All right. Now what we can do, folks, is we can engage the, first let's turn on the yaw damper. Alt select is already turned on. We're going to turn on the autopilot, and we're going to hit on nav, and now the aircraft should do its thing. We're going to wait for about 215. There we go, I think that's good. And select IAS hold. And what the aircraft should do now, it should climb and maintain 215 knots, or 216 actually, as it's set here. We're climbing through 6,000, and you can see now that we're flying in accordance to the flight plan that we've entered into the FMC. Let's take a look at some external views there. What a fantastic model, fantastically modeled aircraft. The Dash 8 Q400 by Fly Jason. Beautiful. All right. Now, after takeoff, we can turn on the, let's see here. We can put the air conditioning on normal, and we can turn off both the auxiliary fuel pumps, auto feather system, as well as the standby hydraulic and PTU control. All right, so we are now climbing to 16,000 feet, which is our final cruise altitude. Look at those clouds. Look at that. That is a beautiful view of a beautiful aircraft. And you can see the mountain tips there. All right, 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and kill the lights. Cabin pressure is good. And now we continue our climb to our final cruise altitude today of 16,000 feet. Let's go ahead and increase the range here a little bit. There we go. All right. While the aircraft climbs, I just want to show you guys the approach plate. So if we go to our destination here and go to Navigraph, let's see here. Let's go to flights, new flights from SimBrief, and this is our flight today. Now, if we go to the approach at Eugene runway 16 right, let's go here to approach 16 right. That's the ILS or localizer. Now, as you can see here, the final approach platform or the platform altitude is 2,000 feet. And if you see here that once we arrive we need to actually go to the Corvallis VOR station, so 115.4. So after EUG, this is Eugene. This is Eugene VOR station. Once we are here, we need to track the 115.4 Charlie Victor Oscar and then of course at 4,000, and then 2,000 right here, and then intercept the localizer runway 16 right. So there's quite a bit of things that we need to do as we approach our destination, but we'll worry about that once we are there. Now, another thing is the VNAV. So we are going to use VNAV, and I'm going to set this already to 15. There we go. Maximilian, hello my friend and welcome. Yes, definitely the FMOD sounds are phenomenal on this aircraft. Alright, so we're approaching now 16,000 feet, which is the final cruise altitude. And what you'll see is that because we have selected, the aircraft is going to hold the altitude at 16,000 feet, and the speed, IS, will be disabled. So there we go, and you can see now the aircraft speed is starting to go. We are at cruise, so we can go to minimum now, and we'll adjust the power for cruise. There we go, it's about right. All right, so everything is set here, and if we look at, if we go now to VNAV and go to VTO, why don't we have anything there? Very strange. Nav, nothing in VNAV. Wow, that's really strange that we do not have anything in VNAV. Like there's some sort of a bug, because I can't see anything in VNAV. It looks like we're going to need to do this manually. Not sure why we are not getting anything there. Strange. All right. Well, let's take a look at our flight plan. And we can I think we need to do this runway 16 right, which is number 2, no star, and the approach is number 1. Through the EUG transition, enter, FPL, and now we should be able, let's delete that, and now if we go to VNAV, now we have it, there we go. Alright, so at Makta is where we're going to begin the descent. And we are going to go and select enter, and we're going to set the vertical speed to 1000. So we'll put 1000 here, and we're going to say enter, and now you can see that the top of descent is in 26.8 nautical miles, and we're going to be descending at 1000 feet per minute. There we go. All right, so my bad, but yeah. All right, now for the descent, we need to set the platform altitude. There is one restriction at 4,000, but what we're going to do, we're going to set this to 2,000 feet. Again, it's a short flight because I was aware of the fact that we've done a tutorial, a long tutorial today, so I wanted to make a really short flight. And you can see now the TOD is displayed here. So if you do this correctly, you should get the top of descent mark here. Now we've set the altitude, so we've reset the MCP altitude to 2,000 feet, and we are going to also consult the our arrival, the weather information at our destination. Altimeter is 3027, so we'll set that as soon as we begin the descent. But what we need to do as well is select VNAV. So right here, if you go to the autopilot system, you'll see that there is VNAV here. So we're going to click on VNAV, and it's still not, let's see here, I think it takes a little bit of time before you can engage it. So when you are closer to top of descent, perhaps we can click on VNAV and it should work. Right, let's take a look at the outside. Here is a flyby with the beautiful X-Enviro clouds. Yeah, Jeff, I think you are correct. The VNAV will not show unless you're close and the red lines start appearing. So we're still, I think, about maybe, let's see here, FPL, and if we go to VNAV, we're about 13 nautical miles from the top of descent. There we go. All is looking good. That's the top of descent. Yeah, we do need alt select. All right. So alt select VNAV. VNAV is selected now, as you can see. Now you'll see this magenta line getting down here, and once it start going below this line, the aircraft will begin the descent. All right, what we can do is we can go to the descent checklist. Altimeters, we'll set them. Approach landing briefing is complete. Cabin altitude controls are set and ice protection as required. So the descent checklist is complete. And here we are approaching our top of descent. Beautiful aircraft, the Flying Jason. You can see now there is a message here, so if you click on message, you'll see the top of descent alert. And as you can see now, the magenta line is moving down, and as soon as it starts moving below this line, the aircraft will begin the automatic descent. So VNAV actually works pretty good on this aircraft. VNAV path, as you can see, and the aircraft is now descending from 16,000 to 2,000. We're going to set the barrel reference to 23027. And we're going to ease off on the throttle as well. We're going to reduce our speed to about 210 knots. Hopefully we'll have a smooth landing. The last time I think it was a pretty hard landing. It is an awesome aircraft, Gibby. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I'll tell you what, let's take it to about 190 knots, because we are actually approaching our area, our destination. Let's take a look here. We've got, let's see, 8.1. Yeah, I think we have a duplicate here, so this can be deleted. Now we're good. Let's take a look at VNAV. And we'll keep it about 185. There we go. All right, so we have about 26 nautical miles, and yeah, it should be sufficient for us to descend to the right altitude, and we'll keep our speed at 185 knots. Here's a look at the external view. Beautiful clouds by X-Enviro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching 10,000 feet, and we are going to go ahead and turn on the approach lights. We left those on pretty much all the time. We are now going to move the engine to props to 900 and then maximum for landing. And let's go ahead and start reducing our speed to about 170 knots. All right, let's decrease the range. There we go. I'm going to change the altitude to 3,000 feet. All right. Now what we need to do, folks, is if you look at the Navigraph charts, we need to intercept this VOR station and then make the turn to the airport to intercept the localizer for runway 16 right. So we're going to dial 115.4 right here, 115.4, which is the right frequency right here. This is the VOR frequency that we will track. And once we pass the EUG VOR station, or Echo Uniform Golf, we will switch the nav source to VOR 1. And then we will track that VOR station. Once we're close enough to it, then we will turn. You can see here, this is the runway. So this is EUG. This is the Echo Uniform Golf VOR station. And we are now, actually they're about 11 nautical miles from that station. So here's what we'll do. We will start reducing our speed a bit to about 165 knots. And at about 5 nautical miles from EUG, we will switch to VOR mode and track the VOR station. All right, for the approach, we're going to turn on the auxiliary fuel pumps. David White, I need to get back into flying XP11. I've been spending far too much time in other sims. I tell you, X-Plane 11 is just great, and X-Plane 12 is going to be even greater. So yeah, absolutely. All right, so about 6.7 at 5 nautical miles. We're switch. That's, by the way, the airport. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch now to nav source VOR 1, and we're going to go to nav, and we're going to adjust the course. There we go. Not supposed to do this. There we go. It will adjust itself. And we're going to maintain 3,000 feet. There we go. We are now tracking the VOR station, and we're going to maintain 3,000 until we are close to the VOR station. Now, the DME to the station is about 26.7 nautical miles. So we're going to maintain 3,000. Ooh, our speed. There we go. Speed is good. Altitude is good. Alrighty. All is looking good now. Now, if we consult the flight path here, let's see here. Alright. So this is the aircraft. This is us now. We're passing through the EUG VOR station. We're heading to this VOR station, and from there we're going to make the turn to intercept the localizer for ILS 16 right. And if we remove this here and take a look at our flight, this is where we are now. You can see the turn here, and we're heading over to the VOR station. So all is looking good. We're almost there now. 3,000 feet. So make sure we keep our speed up. Right, we're doing good. I just want to maintain about 165 knots until we are... Mohammed Ryan, hello my friend, welcome. The giveaway isn't going to work this way this time. It is going to work with Nightbot, and we're going to do that together. I'm going to do it with you guys, and we'll see how it works. All right, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to turn on the hydraulic systems and for takeoff, and we can leave this on normal for now so that our passengers remain comfortable in the cabin. Let's set the heading. Heading to 163. There we go. Beautiful aircraft, the Dash 8 Q400 by FlyJSim. A study level simulation of the aircraft. And of course, I'm sure many more improvements will be brought into the aircraft in the future. One of the big news in the flight sim world is INI has released their INI manager, and now you can access all your downloads from within the INI manager. Of course, INI builds are also a host for a number of other payware providers. Have you heard of the recently released CRJ700 for X-Plane 11? Yes, I did get it. And I am going to review it. Though I must say that I was a little bit disappointed to see that it is. It's got the default FMS, X-Plane FMS. So that was a put-off for me. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's an okay aircraft. I'll be reviewing it on the channel and give you my honest thoughts as usual. .5 nautical miles. From about 5 nautical miles, we will make the turn and head over to the runway. And we'll also descend to 2,000 feet. So far, so good. Captain Floater asks, what ortho settings? So I'm using Orbex, Orbex scenery for the state of Oregon. You're most welcome, sir. Do developers sometimes ask you for advice, or do they keep their distance? I've had some developers ask for advice, but they get a little offended sometimes when I give my opinion. So, yeah, but look, if you ask for my opinion, I always give constructive criticism, and I think it's quite important that we do that. All right, let's see what happened here. All right, so here's what we're going to do now. We are going to switch to the ILS frequency. All All right. And we're going to set the course to 163. And we're going to select heading mode. Speed check, flaps 5. And we're going to put this on max. And approach. Speed check, flaps 10. We should be good now. The airliner of the year for X-Plane 11 as of this date is, in my view, the INI Builds A310, followed by the Q4XP, which is the aircraft we're flying today, followed by the Fearless 742 Classic. All right, gears going down. Flaps 15. Sure why the aircraft is not doing what it's supposed to do.
$2,500.
Well, we're a bit too high. Runway is right ahead of us now. All right, localizer captured. And we are on the localizer. We are on the glide slope now. Not yet on the localizer, but the aircraft should adjust itself now. Let's see if we're gonna butter it or not. Indeed. Indeed. All right, we're all configured for landing. All right, folks, I think at this point I am going to disengage the autopilot and take over. Autopilot disengaged. My aircraft.
Approaching 16 right.
Whoa. That was pretty hard, I must say. And welcome to Eugene Airfield, ladies and gentlemen. We made it safely. Yes, definitely a challenging aircraft to fly, to land, the Dash 8 Q400. But nonetheless, I hope that you guys were able to get an insight into how to operate this aircraft, how to fly it, and how to really use all the systems. And I'm very glad that we were able to use, you know, the VOR approach into Eugene. I think it gives, it exposes the aircraft systems, and so I'm kind of glad that I've selected this short route for this flight today. And of course, we'll take a look. At the replay momentarily. Beautiful scenery by Orbex. And by the way, this is the default airport. There you have it, the Dash 8 Q400 in all its might. Where should we go? I think the gate is right over there. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this flight. Yeah, the XP realistic settings definitely need to be... let's take a look at the landing rate. 385. Wow, that's hard. That's really hard. Thank you very much, Rand. Good, appreciate it. Appreciate your kind support as always, and your kindness, my friend. Yeah, flaps 35 is probably easier. All right, here's the gate. And we're just going to go and park the aircraft right there. All right. All right, folks, we have made it safely to the gate, and we can now power off the aircrafts. Let's kill the fuel. And we're going to kill all the lights. See there. Turn off the batteries. And this should actually have been to minimum, but that's all right. I'm going to turn off all these guys. All right. You can see the gate is moving towards the aircraft now, and the aircraft door will open momentarily. All right, let's take a look at the replay. So that's us, yeah, that'll work. That's the tower view. Let's take a look. We came in a little bit fast, I think. That was really a firm landing. Yeah. Not too bad, but yeah, it's a hard landing and kind of a floater there as well, but all right, here, let's take another look. Maybe this time we'll do it from, there we go. Take another look here. Woo! That was pretty hard. Bit of a bounce there, but then sound. The sound just really, really well made on this laptop. All right. So, now folks, what we're going to do, now that we are done with all this good stuff, is first of all, we're going to move the camera right over here so you can take a look. And again, this is Orbex scenery of the state of Oregon. And we are now going to go to, let's see here. We're going to go to Nightbot. And from Nightbot, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be running the giveaway. So if we go here to the giveaway, and you can see now there's all of you guys here in chat, and we are going to give members, channel members, so I'm going to include the moderators. So moderators, regulars, channel members, and users, everyone gets a chance at the giveaway, and we're going to give the channel members 3 times more likely to win the giveaway. Regulars get no extra luck and active timeout, so users should have been at least active for the last 5 minutes in order to be able to win. Now, I'm giving channel members more chances to win in appreciation for their support. Of course, thank you all for your support, and we are going to, let's see. So I can see now all the channel members, all the active members being listed there. And just remember that we've got welcome to the VVIP membership. Sorry, I didn't quite get your name, but yeah. All right. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of time just to populate the list of all the users here, and then we're going to roll the giveaway. So here we go. Here's the first one. Brian Klingiertz. Brian. Hello, Brian. Brian is our first winner. Brian Klingiertz. Hey, you're most welcome, my friend. All right, Brian, all you need to do, my friend, is email me. I'm glad that you have your full name here. So if you can just email me at info@Q8Pilot.com, and I will sort you out. Brian, congratulations. All right. The next one is, let's see, roll it. And the next winner, ladies and gentlemen, is Mohammed Ryan. Mohammed Ryan, congratulations. Congratulations, Mohammed. And Mohammed, if you can just send me an email at info@Q8Pilot.com, and I will get you sorted. Perfect. All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the third winner, I am going to roll it one more time. And here we go. Velocity. Velocity. Velocity, if you can just tell us what your name is so that no one else can send me an email with the name Velocity and claim that they're the winner. So if you can just tell me right now what your name is, please, in chat so I can verify that. Scott saying, if I don't win, I'm buying this plane. Scott, I'll tell you what, just go ahead and send me your email address at info@Q8Pilot.com. You've been great support to the channel. So I'm going to give you a free copy of the Q4XP, courtesy of the Q8 Pilot channel, in appreciation for your long support and outstanding moderation of the Q8 Pilot channel chat. So please go ahead and send me your email just send me an email to my address, to info@q8pilot.com. I'll take care of that for you. Velocity, if I can just know your name, please, so that I can... if I can just get your name so that I know you're the person emailing me later on. All right. Perfect. Back to X-Plane 11. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you for being with me tonight. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed doing this tutorial flight for you guys. I hope that I've met your expectations. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Stay safe, and bye-bye for now.